Hello and welcome to Coffee with Cole, bringing this unique interview show back to you on Facebook Live. I have a series of incredible speakers lined up for you over the next few weeks. But today I'm interviewing an incredible human being, a good friend of mine, Rainu. Many of you will know him as Bobby Sequils Rainu from Sequils. And we have a very powerful story to share. Before we go any further, I just want to share this out to a few other platforms, so please do bear with me. I'm just going to share this out to a couple of places. Share it out to them. My phone is so slow today, I don't know what's going on. Share it out to there, and just share it on a couple of groups who are expecting this. There we go. There we go. So thank you so much for joining in, guys. Let's see who's on here before we bring Bobby on. Let's see who's here. Sesh, good to see you. Mike, thanks for jumping in. Raj, thanks for jumping in. Neelam, good to see you. Sarah, Manjinder, Harpreet, good to see you. Taj, Robert, and thank you so much, guys. I'm expecting that a few people will be joining us today. Just waiting for Raj to join us. Neil, good to see you. Thank you so much for jumping on. Just waiting for Raj to join us. Let's see if I can try and invite him on. Just looking for him now. Just bear with me. Hi, neighbour. Good to see you, Harpreet. So, for those of you that don't know, while we're waiting for Raj to join us on this broadcast, Coffee with Cole is something that was inspired from me to, as I go about my journey and I talk to various people, I'm inspired by so many people. And sometimes I think it's so powerful to bring these real people onto a Facebook Live just to demonstrate how the application of mindset in your life can do so many things for you. We very often hear about mindset, and you hear me talking about mindset all the time. And, it's very easy to assume that when I talk about clients, perhaps, or when I talk about other people who I know have gone through transitions in their lives and transformations in their lives, that you think, well, it's okay for them. They're a different person. I'm a different person. It means nothing to me. It won't apply to me. So Coffee with Cole was really inspired by bringing on real people who have been through some situations in their lives, or they've applied mindset in their lives, the very mindset that I talk about on a daily basis on my Facebook Lives, and how it has transformed their lives. So Bobby has just joined us. Let's see if we can bring him on. Trying to add Raj on now. So Raj Rainu is a good friend of mine who's had some incredible circumstances in his life that have been challenging, that would challenge any one of us. But what I'm inspired by is how he has responded to those challenges. So Raj, it's saying it's adding you on now. So hopefully you might get a notification. If you get a notification, Raj, saying, will you accept this request, just press yes or accept, and it should bring you onto the Facebook Live. Make sure that your phone is in landscape mode, that your settings are set to public. Hopefully, there he is. There's the guy.
Hey.
So, good to see you. So let me just do a proper introduction for this amazing guy. Raj, most of you will know him as Bobby Sequil Singh Rainu. Bobby's job is to get into the niche market of sequels, and he will talk about that in a short while as to exactly what he does. But we've known each other for a few years, and we get together every now and then, and we chew the cud, and we talk about businesses, and we talk about mindset, and we've always done this and talked about mindset an awful lot. But this year, Raj was really tested in this area, and he's going to talk about the challenges that he's experienced over the last several months of this year and how he has coped with those challenges. I'm going to be inspired. I'm already inspired by this guy. I think he's amazing, and I hope that by the end of this interview, you will also think he's equally amazing. And then we'll talk about some stuff that we are going to be doing to bring this kind of thinking out to the masses, because we think that this is a very powerful subject. I, as you know, am very passionate about personal leadership, about mindset, and about transforming your own life and taking responsibility for your own life. And Raj will give you a real good example of how that has manifested into his life. So Raj, over to you. Just let everyone know who you are, because a lot of people here won't know who you are. And also, if you give everyone a flavor of the challenges that you've been through in this last 9 to 10 months.
Yeah. Bobby Rainu, or Raj Rainu, and what can I say? You know, I don't know what to say. This year has been a very, very, very bad year for me. Before I get into all of that, I live in Leamington Spa. I've got 3 young children: Naveen, who's 9, Abani, who's 5, and Viren, who is 3. Okay, yeah, who's 3. My wife died in January this, so she got told in January that she had cancer, and she died a few weeks ago. So this year has been very, very testing for me, very testing. It's been very, very tough. But the industry I work in, wills, trust, powers of attorney, all end of life planning, And I had a couple of people say to me, "How are you so strong? Are you in work mode?" Maybe, you know, possibly, and maybe that's probably what's getting me through it. That's what's getting me through it.
I get that completely, Raj. You know, I have, in my 32 years of policing, I've seen more death than I can count now. You know, I've seen death so often and so frequently in throughout my adult life, from the age of 16 when I went to my first sudden death. And when it becomes your job, you do become very automated in terms of how you deal with it. And I know I've been to some tremendously challenging situations professionally where I have seen death that would not ordinarily affect somebody really adversely, but I go into automatic mode, and that's the only way that I could cope with it. So that's probably what people are thinking that you're going through now, and perhaps to some degree you are. But at a human level, at a husband, a father level, just talk us through the process that went on in your mind when you had this devastating news that you know, your wife had a life-limiting disease, and what that meant to you. What were your thoughts that were going through your head?
Um, basically, we she lost a lot of weight last year, and people thought she was losing weight deliberately. I was like, no, she's not well. She physically can't eat, so she's not trying to lose weight. And we went to the hospital, doctors, various test scans. In December last year, they took a biopsy, took a sample. I thought, okay, something's all right here. In January, they took they took another sample, and that's when they confirmed. End of Jan, they said, "You got stomach cancer, and your life has been cut short. No treatment is ever going to get rid of it." I thought, okay. So obviously, we walked out the room. I went back in, and I said, "Doctor, tell me how long? How long have we got?" He said, 18 months, 2 years. All right. And for me, as soon as she said 18 months, 2 years, I was planning everything in my head. As wrong as it sounds, I just thought, okay, so we got a plan for everything. Nim's funeral, yeah. What she wants to wear at the funeral, you know, what we can do at home. It's just everything, every little thing. For me, when I go and see clients, I will say, okay, you are going to die, okay? You need a will. You got children, right? Who's your guardian? And there's me turning around to my wife saying, you know what? You know what I do? It's what I do for a living. So we need to plan for your funeral. So what do you want to do? Do you want to come home first? Do you want the children there? You know, what kind of songs do you want? So it was every little detail, every little thing. You know, it's very, very tough, especially when it's your own spouse. For me, when I go and see clients, it's easy to talk about, but when she came home after the hospital, the nurse said, "You got a funeral director in place." I thought, wow, man. No, I haven't. I haven't. It's little things like that. Little
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
And I suppose, you think this sort of other people might be looking at this and thinking, wow, that's crazy that, you had this news and straight away you're thinking about these procedures, the processes, the plans that you need to put in place. But I guess your mind does run away with you like that, and you do start looking at not the days that you've got left, but what do you do at the end of that inevitable process? So that
Yeah.
might have
So,
been
so,
some of the
so
automation that went through your head.
yeah. So cool. Just going on from that, I literally planned for everything. I planned in my head. I planned. I was playing a film in my head,
Yeah.
and what I said to the children, and I had to say to Naveen and Lavani, I said, Mummy's not well, and when people die, they go to Bob's in the sky,
Hmm.
and that could happen to Mummy. And this was back in June, July, and you plan for everything. I was prepared, and I said to everyone, I said, listen, this year we are going to do Nim's funeral, and I said, you guys better be prepared. I said to everyone, all the family, be prepared.
Mm.
And this is my motto in life: is that you got to be, prepare for the worst, but expect the best.
Yeah.
So it was yeah. So just telling them, we have to do this. Your sister, your daughter, your so and so is going to die this year.
Mm.
She's going to die, and we have to be prepared. But the
And
hardest conversation was,
how was everyone responding to that, Bobby?
um, I'm quite straightforward,
Mm.
blunt,
I know that.
and yeah,
That's what I love
and
about
I tell
you.
it how it is. And I tell it how it is, and I don't beat around the bush.
Yeah.
But they took it in, whether they absorbed it, no.
Mm.
So they didn't say anything. They didn't say anything because she had a she was on. Doctor said to her she hasn't got long left to live.
Mm.
But when I said it, we have to plan for a funeral. They knew what was going to happen. They knew it, but it's about accepting it. Not just it's everyone. It's everyone. It was hard for me to accept as well,
Yeah.
but I knew it was gonna. I knew this year, a single dad, raising 3 children. I knew it was gonna happen.
Mm. And that for yourself, Raj, that must have been such an incredible journey, a shift in your own thinking about what life's all about, what the future looks like, about who you need to be in the future. Would you say
Yeah.
that you are the same person that you were at the start of the year?
Hell no,
Mm.
absolutely not. I am literally a newborn person.
Mm.
This is the new Raspberry. This is the new Bobby Rainu.
Yeah.
This year, nobody can understand what I've been through. No one can, and no
Mm.
one will ever understand what I am going through.
Yeah.
Because it puts you in places. It literally when your wife when you've been told your wife is going to die, you
Yeah.
think, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, go for it. Let's keep this one
No.
raw. Let's
Yeah.
keep this one raw.
Fuck, man. Listen, it's been, yeah, it's been fucking very hard, very very hard. So when you're back into a corner, you have to come out fighting. Really
Yeah.
have to come out fighting. And
And I'm guessing
this
the
is
other
this is
thing, Raj, the other thing that you've also had to contend with is that, Nim's illness and particularly her death hit the social media, and a lot of people were watching. I went to the funeral. It was so beautiful. There were lots of people there, but you must have been inundated with messages. I know I sent you a couple of 3 messages, and then I thought to myself, hang on a minute, I need to give this guy time to ingest and digest what's
yeah,
going on, and that's why we left it a few weeks before I spoke with him. But
yeah.
on top of everything that you were going through, you're also picking up, I'm guessing, a lot of other people's pain as well. How did you cope with
Yeah.
that?
So I literally, no exaggeration, thousands of messages,
Mm.
Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. and I haven't even got back to all of them,
Yeah.
because I am inundated every day, every day, you know. And even on the funeral, I don't know if you heard my speech, which will be on
Yeah.
YouTube in a couple of weeks. It was just about Naveen said, "Oh, was Mummy have a lot of friends?" And I said, "Just wait on the funeral,
Mhm.
wait on the funeral." And we apparently there's about 1,500 people there,
It was
and it's
incredible.
just
It
yeah,
was an incredible. There's one thing that you said, Raj, when you gave the eulogy, and one thing that really, really stuck in my mind was when you said, here we are, we're grieving the loss of one person,
one
but
person
actually, when you look at it from her perspective, she will be
exactly.
grieving the loss of all of us, thousands of
Yeah,
people. And that,
yeah,
I thought that was such a powerful way of explaining the process of death and leaving this earth.
absolutely. So for me, have I broken down? Yes, I have, because I'm a human. I'm not a robot. Um, I'm shattered. My heart is shattered to pieces because my wife is gone. Right, she's no longer with me. I am strong because I have to be strong for my children. And so she's on the hospital bed, and the doctor said, "You are going home to die. Do you know that?" I'm like, okay, how can you say that? But it's reality. It is reality. And she didn't break down at all. So when she got told she had 1 year left to live, 6 weeks left to live, you're going home to die, you got a few days, maybe a week or so, she did not break down. So, and I'm thinking, how can I break down? How can I disrespect my wife? But she had physical pain and she had mental pain. And she's in the hospital bed and she's looking, thinking, there's my 3 kids there. My 3 children that came out of me.
Yeah.
I am going to leave them. As my husband there that I've known for 18, 20 years. I'm going to leave him, my mum and dad there, got my in-laws there, I've got my brother and sisters there. I am going to die and I'm going to leave everyone behind. So how can I, you know, disrespect her by by crying, because it's not right. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. So how can I do that? And she went through 1,000 times worse what I'm going through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
The one thing I would
So,
like to say at this point is
yeah,
just to describe Nim. I didn't know Nim that well, but I knew what she did, and from everything that I saw of Nim, she was an incredible human being. She was not, when they made her, they must have thrown away the mold, because she was a solicitor, she was a serial entrepreneur, she was one of these people that whatever she turned her hand to, it went crazy. She was super
absolutely.
successful, but
Yeah.
she put a lot of hours into everything that she did. I remember she turned to hair and makeup a couple of 3 years ago, wasn't it? And
About 5 years ago.
5 years ago, was it? And I remember thinking, why is Nim doing hair and makeup all of a sudden?
Yeah,
But then I saw a couple of posts where she was booked up 2 years in advance, and then
exactly.
I used to look out for the posts where you'd show examples of some of the work that she's done. She
Yeah.
was an incredible human being. It has to be said.
And she's not very social media like that.
Mm,
I would say to her, you've got a real skill, you've got a talent here,
mm,
show it off. And I would have to get photos and promote it for her on Facebook, Instagram,
yeah,
wherever it was. Because she had some serious skill. She's very talented. And I really pushed her into setting up the business in terms of the hair and makeup. Because the Indian mentality is you go and work for someone, you retire, at whatever age, yeah.
yeah,
But it doesn't work like nowadays. I'm an entrepreneur. I have been for years, and I thought this is what you need to do. You have got a skill. Life is short. Life is short. So obviously she pushed it, and she got to a very good level. Very good level.
yeah. She was
This
she was
year,
incredible.
yeah, this
She
year
was
the plan
incredible.
was to bring out. She was going to bring out a makeup brand there this
Right.
year. But she's not hearing them, so we can't do it. We
Mm,
can't do it. My daughters might. My daughters might do it,
mm,
but life is short. And I said to her, just push yourself, do it. Let's do it. And
yeah.
yeah, and she did it. She made a name for herself.
one thing that you've just mentioned there, Raj, that I'd just like to pick up and just explore a bit is this concept of the Indian mentality. I think there's an Asian mentality, whether you're Indian, Pakistani, or wherever, there's a similar mentality when it comes to death, or particularly talking about death. So, you know, would you describe this as being a taboo subject still within the Asian society, talking as openly as we are about death?
Yeah, absolutely. With what I do, when I first set up Sequels, it was very, very challenging.
Mm,
Nobody wanted a plan for death. Nobody wanted to make a will. People think making a will is going to make them die quicker. Oh,
mm,
come on, man. You know, everyone's going to die, but we're not invincible.
mm.
We all need to put things in places, and it is a very taboo subject. And
Yeah,
this is what I'm very surprised about my LinkedIn article, which went viral.
yeah,
It
it was
had
crazy.
230,000 views.
Yeah.
230,000. I was like, wow. But for me, it's these things we need to talk about. We absolutely 100% need to talk about. You
Well,
know,
we're
when
going
I
to
go
come on
see
to
clients,
we're going to come on to something a bit later on that hopefully we're going to try and break through those barriers of the taboos.
yeah,
Taboo. I'm all about leading life with absolute authenticity, absolute reality, and bringing the awareness to people. So we're going to
yeah,
talk about something that we might be
yeah,
doing together in the future. But Raj, I just want to explore with you. You've been through the darkest of times this year, the toughest of challenges. And I always say it's not the challenge that defines you in life, it's how you respond to that challenge. So what support mechanisms, what learning, what have you clung on to that's helped you from a mindset perspective to get through to where you are right now with the power that you're demonstrating right now?
yeah. Um, so I've been practicing mental toughness for about 4 or 5 years now. YouTube videos, reading, um, doing everything. And this is where Nim couldn't understand. She goes, "Why are you listening to that? What? Oh, here we go again." And she couldn't understand it. And now it's helping me. It's literally helping me.
Yeah,
Um, it's all about here.
yeah,
This controls a lot of things in your. It controls everything in your life.
mm,
So the way I responded to it is because it's, you know, when you see your wife, she's dead in front of you. How the fuck do you respond to that?
mm.
But it's all about here. It's all about here
It
because
really is, isn't it? At the end of
yeah,
the day, the only
yeah,
thing that's going to help you fail or succeed in life is your mindset. Mindset is
yeah,
absolutely everything. And I know so many
yeah,
people who, for even lesser experiences than you've been through this year, have have just sort of put up the white flag, given up, and defined themselves by that one experience. You know, people have gone through divorce, illnesses, breakups, financial burdens, or whatever it might be. They choose to
yeah,
define themselves with that and just give up. And I think that's so very sad. So I, for one, am so proud of you that you have risen up with the power of mindset that you've demonstrated this year. Everything that I talk about on a daily basis, you've lived it, you've demonstrated
yeah.
it. And I take my hat off to you if I was wearing
Yeah.
one right now. Um, but Raj,
but
uh,
but you know what is cool? There's always somebody worse off. Always somebody worse off.
always, yeah,
So somebody could be looking at me and thinking, I'd love to have his life.
yeah.
Even though I'm a widow, I'm a widower at 34. I've got three young children, 9, 5, and 3. There's, oh, yeah, I would love to have his life.
Mm,
So, to put it in perspective, somebody came to the house to do a source, obviously when Nim passed away, and he was telling me a story about his friend. His friend is in his 30s, married, one daughter. He's a bit of a like a lulu bunda. Didn't do anything. Didn't know how to pay the bills, cook, clean, nothing. And
mm,
his wife gave birth to their son. Um, she got sepsis. 4 weeks later, she died.
yeah.
So they got a four-week-old son, 3-year-old daughter.
Wow.
He has got it harder than me, much harder than me. When you have a baby, they want their mum, right? Mum needs to breastfeed. They want their mother's milk.
Yeah.
So he has got it much harder than me. So I look at my situation. I'm very lucky because I'm hands-on. I know how to do absolutely everything, apart from the girl's hair and Viren's hair, because in Nim's a makeup artist,
I can give you some tips on that.
So, but I'm learning. I'm learning. Nim left she's got a doll's head at home, so I'm literally practicing on there. But because I have to.
Yeah. You know, there's a few people putting some comments on here about, you know, shared experiences where they've experienced something similar in the past. And, you know, I myself was at my mum's bedside when she passed away, and Taj lost her auntie a couple of years ago in December. And we saw her pretty much every single weekend, and she deteriorated in her bed, hospital bed at home. And I did meditations with her, and we spoke, and it was... Sometimes death can be a very beautiful process if you prepare for it, and you know, it is recognizing that they're perhaps going through to a better place, and they've managed to complete what they needed to complete in this life in terms of moving on. But nonetheless, for those left behind, it's also very painful. But it's how you rise up from that pain to make sure that what you do with the rest of your life is going to hold that person very proud of you. So if Nim were looking at you right now, what do you think she would want you to do? Is that a tough one?
She would. I'm hoping she would be thinking, "Yeah, that's my husband. I'm proud of him." That is what I'm hoping. But Nim being Nim, she'd probably swear at me. Think, what the fuck you do, man? But yeah, it's one thing is for sure is that she said to me is, "I've got no worries. The kids are safe with you because, like I said before, I am hands-on. I know how to do everything." And she left me knowing that the kids will be very, very safe. They'll be well looked after. We spoke about university, what she wants her children to do. It's pretty fucked up, the fact that we had to talk about that. It's easy for me to go and see clients, but when it's your own wife, you know, it's very,
and
very,
your
very
children
tough.
are so young.
Yeah, my youngest is 3. Viren is 3 years old. Every single day he asks me, "When's mummy coming back?" As the doctor's fixing it, as Bobby's in the sky, you're gonna send mummy home? Mummy gonna come home for Christmas? Nah, mummy is gone. She's never, ever, ever coming back. It's just you, me, Naveen, and Avani. It's 4 of us now, and you have to be blunt, and you have to tell them the truth.
Yeah.
Because realistically, Nim, she's not coming back. She is not coming back, and I have to do everything myself. You know, Christmas is going to be very hard this year because Nim was very, very precious about her tree, Christmas tree. No tinsel allowed, and we're going to get the special beads. We get this. But I said, no, we need a bit of tinsel, mate. We need a bit of tinsel. So no children, no husband allowed to decorate the tree. But this year, I'm going to have to do it. And, you know, it's little memories like that. I got a letter in the post yesterday from the hospital saying, "We're very sorry to hear the death of Nimrat Rainu." You know, oh, bloody hell, man. Yeah, I know she's gone. And when you see it in black and white, it's something. It touches you there. It really touches you there.
Yeah. Really, and you know, when Viren asks where's mummy on a daily basis, you can't get hardened to that, because this is coming from the mouth of a 3-year-old boy who knows no better, who is so ignorant. Does that impact on you? You know, do you have those moments, Raj? I mean, I don't want people thinking that this guy is a superhero warrior. He's also a human being. So do you have those moments where you just feel like, you know, you just need to cry, or you just need to vent, or whatever?
Yeah. Do you mind if I have a drink?
No, please feel free. Hey, Corvona. Strong stuff, that.
I've got a bit of a tickly cough. Yeah. yeah, like I said, I'm not a robot. I am
Mm.
a human being. I'm trying to keep strong, um, for my wife, for my children. My children are my strength,
Yeah,
but they're also my weakness as well.
yeah,
You know, when Viren says, "When's mommy coming back?" Every single night when Naveen says, "I want mummy, I want mummy to put me to bed. I just want to hold mummy." When Avani says, "Daddy, take a selfie. Can you send it to mummy?" I'm like, "Yeah, that hurts here.
yeah,
It literally, you know, I feel the pain, and yeah, I do have a cry. I'm not gonna lie because it's the truth. It literally is the truth. Um, yeah, it's not good. It is not good at all. I am strong because of Nim,
yeah,
because I have been given this unbelievable amount of strength, and I don't know where it comes from. But there were two things which I used to pray for. I used to say, God, make make Nim better, and two, give me the strength to get me through all of this and whatever happens. And obviously, he's done the latter. So
yeah.
Nim's gone, but I've got this strength. I've got this strength.
And you know, with this strength, Raj, I just know that, you know, part of your destiny now is to help other people develop the same level of strength, because, you know, death is a sad inevitability in so many people's lives. You know, I'm just looking at some of the comments here, people who've lost their brother, and people who've lost their sisters-in-law, their parents. Death happens to all of us, and it's about how we strengthen ourselves in that process so we can continue to live a fulfilled life moving forward. So for you, leading a fulfilled life moving forward, what would that look like for you now?
So at the beginning of the year, when the doctor said Nim's life has been cut short, and I planned for absolutely everything. I've been strong throughout the whole thing, up, you know, the funeral, after the funeral. But when things died down, friends, family stopped coming over. I know, shit, this is reality. You know, it's just me and my three children, and I didn't prepare for that, and that hurt. That actually really hurt me. I was like, fuck, what do I do now? Literally,
Mm.
what do I do now? So I take it day by day.
Yeah.
Um, I got a routine in place, and then we had the half term, and everything went tits up. So
I
kids are
rang
back at
you. I
school
rang you
tomorrow.
during half term, if I remember right.
And I said to you, I can talk, but you might have screaming kids in the back. Um, but kids are back at school tomorrow, and routine starts again.
Yeah.
The future, I've still got goals and targets, you know. So me and Nim had goals and targets, which some are no longer existent now. Like
Yeah.
we always said, we will buy land and we will build our own house. That's
Mm.
what we will do, and I can't do that anymore. For one, there's no point. No point whatsoever, because why would I want to do that by myself? I need to share it with her.
Yeah.
So it's for me. It's all about traveling, and she always wanted to travel, and she will come traveling with me.
Yeah.
We will do, yeah, yeah. And in terms of
And
children, kids wise, for her, it's all about education and excel them at what they're best at, or what they're
yeah.
best at. But one thing is for sure, Nim Rainu's legacy will live on. Her hair and makeup brand will live on because the kids are very creative.
Yeah.
Naveen is very good at hair. Avani is very good at makeup, and she's practiced on me. So that that legacy will live on.
Yeah. I think there's you know, we've spoken about all your experiences a few times now, and I'm looking forward to coming down again to see you. We're long overdue a catch up anyway,
Yeah,
but you know what, Raj, I want to give you the biggest hug that I possibly can. Uh, you know, when I heard about Nim that night, I didn't sleep because, you know, you mean that
yeah,
much to me. I do hold you in very high regard. I think that part of what your legacy is going to be moving forward, because you've been so open with your humanity from the experience, is that you're going to be touching other people's lives now, and I want to help you in that process. And
yeah, yeah.
so Guys, I just want to tell you about what Raj and I are going to be planning next year. This subject is a taboo subject within the Asian society anyway. It is a subject that needs talking about much more openly. We see that the suicide rate with men, irrespective of their race, is going up in the world,
Yeah,
and the suicide rate for men under 40 is incredibly, ridiculously large. So this is partly because when it comes to challenges, men are expected to be strong and silent and just soak it all up and not be the person that Raj is being right now, where you can display raw emotions, talk about it with an open heart, and just release it. So next year, Raj and I will be looking at doing something very special for men, maybe, or for people who are going through this process. We just need to
yeah,
get some detail around this, but we're going to be creating something very special for people to come to learn some of the mindset techniques that we can adopt to understand the shared experiences. And I've seen a lot of death in my life, and Raj has, witnessed it firsthand with his own wife. We want to share that with the world. Um, Raj, what would you want to share? What do you think is the most important share that you could have with any man out there who is struggling through some difficulties? Not necessarily the difficulties you're going through, but difficulties that not ordinarily men are expected to stay silent about.
yeah. So a few people have asked me, said, "Are you seeking any help, any counselling?" Um, the answer is no, because it's all up here. It's all about training yourself. It's all about the perspective, how you deal with everything. But there is help out there. If you need it, do it. Take the help. Take the help, because it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So with my children, they have school counselling, but they look at me and they think, oh, he's strong. My daddy's strong. It's all about if there's help there, take it. You're not weak, especially with Asian men, right? It's a weakness to break down. It's a weakness if you need help. You know, there's no weakness about it. You've got to look after your family. You have to do that. You have to do that, but you have to look after yourself first. And if you need help, go and seek it. There's no shame about it whatsoever.
Absolutely, 100%. And I couldn't agree with you any more, Raj, because I think that is the key of it all. We're drawing to a close now, but one of the things that we're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks is that Raj is going to be attending the Create and Speak course, my 2-day intensive speaker training course, and we're going to pick up Raj's story. We're going to structure it so that it can be delivered to people from a stage, so that people can benefit from that. This is what we do on the Create and Speak course. Raj will also be very kindly joining me at Ignite Your Inner Potential in January. One of the key segments of Ignite Your Inner Potential is turning adversity into opportunity. We've got a very powerful story this year, and we're already planning for January 2020. It's an annual event,
Yeah.
as you all know. And this was my one event that I wanted to create when I left the police service, so I can inspire a positive mindset in the community wherever I go. And Raj doesn't know this now, but he's already booked to speak at January 2020, Ignite Your Inner Potential, on adversity through to opportunity. And hopefully by then, he will already have inspired other people. He will have touched lives. He'll have been on the Create and Speak course. He'll have been able to structure his message so it does impact. We will have done something together. We want to touch your lives. We want to help you. If you are in a very dark place right now, if you're going through some real challenges, then I urge you, if you can't reach out to anybody else, then reach out to me in the first instance. Don't reach out to Raj at this moment in time, because he's
No.
messages
Do
anyway.
it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Reach out. I've had hundreds of people reach out to me, because I need to help people. I need to help people, and I think that's what Nim is indirectly told me. Help as many people as you can.
And we will
Absolutely. Do that. So reach out to me as well, because I've been through the shittest times. If you think you're going through a dark time, come on, I'll help you. We will get through it together.
Absolutely.
We will get through it together.
Absolutely. Well, you'll be hearing from me and Raj in a couple of weeks' time. We will do another Facebook Live, an impromptu Facebook Live, and we'll tell you what we are going to be creating next year. We want you to help as many people as possible, because particularly men, we know that there are so many of you guys out there who are holding it in because society thinks that that's what you need to do. Culturally, that's what you might believe that's what's required of you. All of this is nonsense. You're human beings, and you need to learn to release. You need to learn to be human, and you need to learn how to cope with this going forward, this kind of tragedy going forward. And it doesn't have to be death, guys. It can be anything. All sorts of things affect all sorts of people in wholly different ways, and we don't want anyone going through that level of pain. So we will be creating something very special going forward, and you will be hearing from us. Raj, I can hear the kids in the background, so I'm going to let you spend some time.
No. Can you see them?
No, I could just hear somebody. I could just hear somebody there. Oh, there they are.
Yes.
Hey, hi guys.
See?
Hi, Darren.
Hello.
What are you wearing? What was that?
I'm wearing a Jogger t-shirt.
Oh, are you? Oh, what is that?
That's scary. Want to see that.
Was that Naveen?
Yes, that's Naveen. And this is Veeran. Vee, say hello.
Hi, Naveen. Hello. How are you?
Good.
You're very handsome. You are. Do you know that?
Thank you.
So guys, we're going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much, kids, for joining us. Raj, thank you, brother. I love you. And we will be on a Facebook Live in the next couple of weeks, guys, with some serious announcements. And thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for joining us on Coffee with Call. And I look forward to seeing you next weekend with the next Coffee and Call. Take care, and God bless you all.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
Say bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Viren.